everyone, and welcome back. This is Max Impact 24, and welcome to the Game Over Club. Now today, I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite games, and I truly mean this, on the NES. One of my favorite games of all time, Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones. And now, for those of you who don't know, this was released in 1991, I do believe, by Technos and Acclaim, back when Acclaim was in bankrupt, and they actually made good games. So for those who don't know, the story basically follows a year after Double Dragon 2, The Revenge. And so Marion's safe and sound, you're back in your dojo, you're training your students, when one day Marion is kidnapped by some mysterious men. We don't know who they are. And in her place is this old woman called Haruko, who approaches you and tells you of her disappearance and who might be, the culprits. And basically what they want for ransom for Marion's well-being is the 3 sacred stones of power. And now they're scattered across the globe, and she will lead you on this merry-go-round goose chase to find them, basically. And so you start your way in USA, and you fight on the mean streets of USA. And it takes you to different locales around the world, which I always loved. I loved the globe-trotting aspect of Double Dragon 3, and I'll show you it right here. This is actually my original copy back in the day when Retro Matt and I got this in maybe 1991, 1992. And we've rented this copy before at our corner store, which we'll delve into a little bit later on. But I just want to say that Double Dragon 3, it was so impressive. I mean, the movements-wise, moves, you got your standard punches and kicks and all that, and you got your hair grab and knees to the face, which are always fun and entertaining. But you could also do your cycle and spin kicks that was a trademark in The Revenge #2. And so they brought along that. Unfortunately, they took away the hyper uppercut and the hyper knee, which is 2 moves that I always loved in the game, especially the sound effect that it made. But in its wake, they actually introduced one of the coolest moves, and I'll go on record for saying one of the coolest moves on the NES period, is the somersault throw. Basically, what you do is you do a full front somersault, but on your way down, you actually grab your opponent's face and you throw them over your shoulder, which is just so wild and awesome. I really love doing that move, and if you're really good at it, you can actually do it in reverse. So yeah, it's a kick-ass move. You can also run in this game, which is a new entry into the series. Before you couldn't run, but now you can double tap, the D-pad, and you can run left or right, and which is really awesome to get away from a mugging. You can also jump off of walls and do a jump kick, which is really cool. And you can do that off of your teammates' hands that actually push you forward and launch you into your enemies, which is really neat. As well, you have two new fighters in the game. Basically, they're bosses, but then you befriend them. They gain your respect, and it's Chin from China and RANZOU, the ninja from Japan, and each one of them has different movements. It's the same cookie-cutter Mortal Kombat type of moveset. They all have their strengths and their weaknesses. RANZOU is fast. He's the fastest character. He jumps the highest, but he's the weakest, and he has the lowest amount of hit points. He also gets a cool little weapon called the shurikens that he can toss at you from a great distance, which really comes in handy later on. Now, you also have Chin, who is the powerhouse. He's the slowest character. He's got the most hit points, and he's the most damaging. He has what Retro Matt and I have called the touch of death, basically, and his standard punches, he does that 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4 punches will basically kill any enemy flat. And he also has a diving headbutt, the crane kick, the two-legged crane kick, which is just so cool. There's one thing I always loved about Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones, is that you can get different characters and they played differently. There's a lot of subtle strategy. And I also want to mention the weapons. You get the broken bottles, you get knives, and you can also use the sais in China, and which are really cool. There's not as many as say Double Dragon 1 or 2, but you also get your own personal weapons. Billy and Jimmy, they're your they're your well-balanced characters. They have the nunchucks, which is probably one of the most powerful weapons in the game. You can use those 5 times each Chin, he can use his Iron Claw, which is probably the most powerful weapon, actually, now that I think about it. They'll just fucking mess you right up. You can use those 5 times, and like I mentioned, the shurikens for RANZOU, you can use those 20 times. It's very underrated. Technos, Acclaim, whoever developed the game, probably both of them hand in hand, they did a phenomenal job. You go to all around the world, different so it's really neat and a really cool feature into this game. The graphics, I just want to mention, the graphics and the music are top notch, and they do not get enough praise. I think the different landscapes, you get the Great Wall of China in China. You're fighting in the field and then into the cabin. You fight in Egypt and the pyramids and all that, and the trap-filled pyramids. You also fight in Rome in the Great Colosseum, which I think is my favorite level, definitely. But you also fight in Japan in basically a ninja dojo, and I hate those fucking ninjas. Oh my god, they are probably the toughest standard enemy in Double Dragon 3. Double Dragon 3 really holds a special place in my heart. I'm a huge fan of Double Dragon in and of itself. And this is actually, this video here, this review, is actually for my good buddy Bracey, SnowCon3 you might know him as, the Stay Classic guy. This is for you, buddy. I know how big of a fan you are of Double Dragon, and I'm a huge fan of number 3. The sheer difficulty, I mean, it's well known. It's probably one of the most difficult games on the NES, only because you get 1 life to live, basically. And in 1-player mode, it's even tougher because you don't get Jimmy Lee. You only play as Billy Lee and Chin and RANZOU if you get to them. Also, I just want to mention about the difficulty. You'll get gangbanged in this game for sure. There's a lot of tricky platforming, just like any NES Double Dragon game, which shouldn't be in there, but it's okay. It adds a little different variety, I suppose. Also, you get only 1 continue in this game, and only from Mission 4, Italy on. So it's very, very difficult, very challenging, a rewarding ending. I really like the ending to this game. I really like the end credits theme song too. So definitely check out Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones on the NES. You will not be disappointed. It's one of the best. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming into the Game Over Club. I hope you enjoy the stories. I hope you enjoy my little review. I'm Max Impact24. Comment below, thumbs up, subscribe, please. And, hey, until we meet again, cheers.